Man City 3, Chelsea 0. Has anyone just got the fast forward button for this season? Just needs to be over. Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And today, of course, that means we talk about another abject loss. We are also going to get into some other bits of news just to try and make it so it's not just all about the terribly abject loss, but it is what it is, isn't it? But guys, before we get into it, if you are enjoying the content and would like to see more, please do me the distinct honour of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. And guys, I'm on the road to 2,000 subs, so if you could hit that subscribe button, I'm aiming to get there before the end of the season. Like 130 to go. Help me out, click the button, let's do it. Right, so we're going to talk about the game a little bit, but first, before we talk about the game, I found a tweet just to compile the damning nature of Chelsea's recent performances under Liam Rosenior not since he took over. Like, obviously, it's like the last 7 games that we're talking about now, that things have been pretty bad. They don't look like they're getting any better. So this from PYS, that is not reposted. This is evidently something he's put together himself. Chelsea have lost 3 in a row without scoring for the first time since March 1998. Breaking records. Love that. Love breaking records. Absolutely brilliant. Chelsea have not kept a clean sheet in the league since January. It is halfway through April. Chelsea have lost 4 of their last 5 Premier League matches. Damning. And, you know, one of those only wins we got was against Port Vale, who are just about to get relegated from League One. And finally, Chelsea have 2 wins in their last 7 matches. So, look, there's just no other way to spin it. Like, it's bad, isn't it? It's really, really, really bad. The thing is, like, I do feel like we're in this situation where it is really difficult to make things get better unless we had a Tommy Tuchel or Luis Enrique or someone who's been around the game and knows how to galvanise a squad in the most difficult of times. I'm pretty sure any other manager would be going through something similar. Maybe not quite as abject as it is with Liam Rosenior because, you know, he doesn't have the hugest amount of experience, but neither did Maresca when he came to Chelsea either, apart from winning a championship with a Leicester team that was full of Premier League players. But it's damning, isn't it? It's damning, and I think it's damning from kind of all sides, really. Like, I know a lot of fingers will get pointed at Liam Rosenior, and rightly so, because he is the architect of a lot of these bad performances. But at the same time, I think the players are just off it, man. Like, we're getting to the point in the season now. There's a World Cup coming up. A lot of them are going to be thinking about that, so it's more difficult to get their heads in the game. I think some of these players know they're probably going. And, you know, for instance, we're seeing things like Yoel Hato being played in centre-back, which I don't mind, by the way. Like, I'm totally up for that because I feel like he's the one that should be getting the game time. But it's, you know, it's difficult to rely on some of our slightly older, more experienced players like Benoit Badiashile, like Tosin Adarabioyo, because they probably just know that they're on their way out, don't they? Obviously, we were missing Enzo Fernandez. Do I think that would have been the difference maker in the game? Not really, based on how badly we got beat, because maybe with Enzo we'd have scored a goal or 2, but we probably still would have conceded 3 at the end of the day. You know, Andre Santos puts in a lot more of a defensive performance than Enzo Fernandez does in general, and we got torn apart by a very, very good attacking City side. So I'm not convinced that Enzo Fernandez being in the team would have made that much difference. Being without Reece James, although Malo Gusto seemed to have an we're going to get into the ratings in a minute. Malo Gusto was better yesterday than he's been recently. I don't even really know, but obviously missing Reece James is a huge one as well. Esteval Willian is definitely the kind of attacking player we need, but it was a big event and he didn't show up either. So look, there are just, you know, the players that we would like to be able to rely on either aren't in the team, are coming back from injury. And, you know, then there's the bench as well, man. The bench is rough, isn't it? The bench is so rough. You know, looking at bringing on Liam Delap and Alejandro Garnacho against Man City when you're 3-0 down. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. It's just like, no, it's just rubbish, isn't it? So this tweet from PYS is indicative that things are bad. Do you know what I mean? In general. And I think what we're looking at is a mix of disillusioned players, a manager that at the moment is a little bit out of his depth. I think it's fair to say I don't think you need to be Rosenior in or out just to look at it and be like, yeah, okay, he's out of his depth at the moment. And yeah, it's just bad, man. It's just bad. So, like, let's move on and talk about the City game a little bit. And as ever, we will start with the lineup. Now, something that is wild to me in this, you can see Robert Sanchez. We'll go from back to front as we always do. 7.7. He made some good saves and stuff yesterday, but am I the only one? Because I had some chats with people about this already. Am I the only one that thinks he was the one that was at fault for that second goal? Where he had the ball and the entire back line was facing away from goal in that moment, and he didn't look. He just threw it straight back out to Moises Caicedo, who instantly got swamped by 3 players. Robert Sanchez had all of the time in the world to hold on to the ball, wait for his team to get into position. There wasn't an obvious attack on, and he just launched the ball back out. So it was basically an assist from Robert Sanchez, and he comes out with a 7.7 from SofaScore. For me, he might have had the overall best performance, but moments like that, like, what can you do about that? Like, I don't really blame Caicedo for that moment, to be honest. Maybe he could have done better, but he was put in that situation by Robert Sanchez. And we weren't playing out from the back yesterday. We weren't playing a controlling, possessing game. We had 37% possession throughout the entire game. Do you know what I mean? So this, Robert Sanchez is bad when he plays out from the back thing doesn't wash here. That was just Robert Sanchez making a bad decision, which is another reason that I think he has to go. You know, I've kind of said this a few times already. Robert Sanchez has been dropped by every manager that he's played for the last 4 seasons at Brighton and at Chelsea. He became 3rd choice at Brighton. He's been dropped by every single manager that he's had at Chelsea. We have to play him now because he's the best shot stopper we've got, and Philip Jorgensen is obviously not good enough. But he's not good enough for the long run. Do you know what I mean? And he needs to go, I think. I don't see him getting better if he becomes a number 2. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really convinced that's going to happen. So, although he got the highest rating here, I think Robert Sanchez was at the very least to blame for that goal, where literally the entire back line was facing away from him. He didn't look. He had all the time in the world. He could have picked the ball up. He could have waited. He could have pushed his team up. There's a million things that he could have done in that moment that weren't pass it straight back out to Caicedo, who was instantly swamped by 3 players, and the back line wasn't prepared to help defend him. Do you know what I mean? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, it all looks pretty bad. Lots of orange, a little bit yellow, and a red. Marco Correa at left back. Very disappointed, but that goal was just, literally, it looked really onside to me, and then obviously they showed it, and I was like, okay, it was offside. That really could have changed the makeup of the game. Either way, good to see Marco Correa put in not an amazing performance, obviously, because no one put in an amazing performance, but he tried really, really hard, and he kind of was our most attacking threat, I guess, in that respect. So after everything that's just happened with the comments that have come out and all this and the other, to see him coming in and still playing like that and not just giving up is really good. Yoro Hato got a 6. Again, Yoro Hato, 19 years old, might be 20 now, I'm not sure, but 19 when we bought him. Playing at centre-back, not exactly his natural position, but it shows you what is thought of the likes of Benoit Badiashile and Tosin Adarabioyo when we're playing Yoro Hato in a massive game like this. I support continuing to play Yoro Hato, continuing to get him more minutes, because he's been one of the few bright spots in general since Liam Rosenior came in. Wesley Fofana, okay. Yeah, joint best, outfielder on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? He didn't have quite as a calamitous game as he has done recently, but still obviously not good enough. Malagusto looked bright in parts and sparks and stuff, but yeah, kind of flattered to deceive. Moises Caicedo had a bad game. Like I say, I don't know if that particularly low rating there is attributed to what I think to have been Sanchez's fault for that second goal. Andre Santos played okay. Pedro Neto really frustrated me yesterday, man. Pedro Neto, so hot and cold, man. So hot and cold. I remember talking about Pedro Neto earlier this season and really supporting him because he was getting a lot of stick, and he was categorically one of the best performing wingers in right wingers in the league. And I looked at Bukayo Saka and Mohamed Salah and all of the wingers across the, and I think Phil Foden was the only player that kind of came out looking better than him. But yeah, Pedro Neto, a couple of good runs here and there, like a few moments where it's like, oh, look, a thing. But so many times he just lost the ball too easily and he just made bad decisions and stuff like Pedro Neto. I thought was awful yesterday. Cole Palmer is just a 6 out of 10 all the time at the moment, isn't he? Let's be completely honest. I don't know what it's going to take for, again, a couple of bright moments and stuff. And he looks like he's trying more he looks like he's trying to enjoy his football more. Which, when you've got someone of Cole Palmer's latent potential ability, which we have seen before, that's kind of the best, I guess, we can hope for until he actually starts doing good again. But I wouldn't put all of that performance down on him. Esteval had a bad game, unfortunately. Maybe too much too soon. Esteval's only just come back. Obviously, played really well against Port Vale. But going from Port Vale to Man City, back to back, that is like the biggest dearth in quality you can imagine, isn't it? Going from league, the relegation threatened League One Port Vale, who are rock bottom of League One, to Man City, who are currently challenging for the title. Absolutely wild. Difficult. He didn't have a good game, obviously, and supposedly the worst on the pitch. And João Pedro, unfortunately, seems to be going through another one of his somber patches, right? Where just he's not managing to make much happen on his own. But, again, it's difficult to really, for me, Sanchez was, even though you got the best rating here, Sanchez was the only one that I was like, oh, that was awful. Pedro Neto was probably the hardest for me to watch yesterday, despite having one of the, his good moments were good, but the bad moments were just so frustrating. So yeah, the starting 11, difficult, do you know what I mean? And then the subs, slightly positive in the subs, I guess. Romeo Lavia comes on for Santos and looks better. Do you know what I mean? He's passing well. He definitely seems to suit our midfield. I can really, really only just hope that he stays fit, because I do think a fit, consistent Romeo Lavia is really going to make a difference to the team in the long run. Alejandro Garnacho, sick of him, just bored of him now at this point. I tried really, really hard to be supportive of Alejandro Garnacho for the majority of the season, and he did really well at Man United against the odds, and all of that, but I'm just so bored of watching him get the ball on the left wing now, because it's like as soon as he gets it, nothing's going to happen. Even Pedro Neto, who I struggled with yesterday, something might happen, do you know what I mean? But with Alejandro Garnacho, it's like almost definitely nothing's going to happen, and it's difficult. Liam Delap, kind of the same as Alejandro Garnacho, it's just because we don't have any other options at this moment. I mean, Mark Gue was on the bench, and maybe Mark Gue is worth giving a few more minutes to raise his value before we sell him. But either way, our strike force is in the bin. Dario Asugo, 7.1. Okay, cool. That's the second time we've seen him since he come back from injury. And for his, 16 minutes, because there was 8 minutes of extra time, which was absolutely wild. And Dario Asugo looked okay. Again, I think he'll be a good backup next season if he can stay fit again. And then Josh Achiampong came on for 10 minutes to replace a potentially injured Malagusto, which we will have to see. Got a 6.8, obviously not his favourite position. And again, we'll just have to see what goes on with that. But just across the board, man, it's just a bit poor, isn't it? It's just a bit abject. It's difficult to be a Chelsea fan at the moment. It's difficult because what we, in this moment in particular, we've just played Man City, we've got Man United coming up, who are in really, really good form at the moment. I think we can get anything out of a game at any moment. It's Chelsea at the end of the day. And even though our team is not doing well at the moment, this is the same team that was in second place in December. We were picking up loads of wins in a row. We've gone through good patches of form this season to say that the players are able to do something. Are we close to challenging for the title? No. Are we good enough to get into the Champions League? Yes, we are. And unfortunately, that's where some of this is starting to fall to Liam Rosenior. So, speaking of Liam Rosenior, I have this little tweet from PYS per Fabrizio Romano, which pertains to Chelsea coming out and, the board coming out and still backing Rosenior despite the abject result yesterday. Just in, Chelsea are still backing Liam Rosenior. This is the message from the club after the match today. They don't forget he arrived in January and had no pre-season. It will be important to understand how Chelsea end the rest of the season. It's a results-based industry. At the moment, as of now, the message is we want to trust the manager. This is the only thing I expected to see, to be completely honest. I don't think Liam Rosenior is going anywhere, even if we don't get Champions League. And I don't know, are we that team at the moment that we bring, we brought in Frank Lampard for 5 games at the end of that Graham Potter season, didn't we? And it didn't help. It didn't change anything. Do you know what I mean? The new manager bounced, did absolutely nothing. I think we only won one of those games, and it was really, really poor performances. So I think it probably just benefits us to give Liam Rosenior the rest of the season and let him have a fresh start. There are not loads of managers available, is the honest answer, and we're a bit of a poison chalice at the moment. So to be completely honest, I don't necessarily see a better option. Guys, if you have an idea, I'm just interested to see what you think. If you were get this guy in for the last 6 games of the season and we'll get into the Champions League and he will kick us on for the beginning of next season, I'd like to know what you think. But I'll be completely honest, based on where we're at with players, injuries, season performance and stuff in general so far, I don't necessarily see anyone that is available to us right now coming in and doing better than Liam Rosenior. And I do think that at some point, you've got to stick. Do you know what I mean? You've got to stick. The thing is, we know Liam Rosenior did great at Strasbourg. And, one of the things I've seen recently, actually, that I do completely agree with, and I've been kind of saying this for a while, you don't compare Liam Rosenior to Maresca at Chelsea. You compare Liam Rosenior to Maresca at Leicester. I think taking that incredibly young team that was gutted season on season and getting them to compete for European spots in France is as impressive as winning the championship with essentially a Premier League team. Do you know what I mean? Because when Leicester went down and came back up again, their team was still mostly full of Premier League players that were in their squad whilst they were in the Premier League. So although it's easy to look at what Maresca did at Chelsea and be like, yeah, okay, when he was given a pre-season and when he was given so at the beginning, especially the players that he wanted and stuff, yeah, okay, he did well. Liam Rosenior has walked into a very different situation at the moment. So I'm not saying I'm not saying I think Liam Rosenior is doing well, because obviously he's not. I'm just saying I don't necessarily see how going out, sacking him now, getting another manager is necessarily going to benefit us, because I don't think there's anyone obviously good enough. This is the problem, right? If you're going to go out and get a manager, then you want to get someone who's good. I think Cesc Fabregas looks great, but I think getting him away from Como, unfortunately, looks kind of impossible. He's taken them into the Champions League. He's part owner of the club. There's talks about Glasner and Hertzler and stuff, but, and then I look at the Thomas Frank to Tottenham situation. Thomas Frank was amazing at Brentford, went to Tottenham, got him in the relegation zone. Do you know what I mean? These kind of things, unless we got the next Jurgen Klopp, do you know what I mean? Or someone like that. And even Mikel Arteta, I've mentioned this before as well, he had back-to-back 8th place finishes, and he was backed through those back-to-back 8th place finishes. And there was lots of calls for Arteta out, and they've been challenging for the title for the last 4 seasons running. So, look, man, that's it. Do you know what I mean? It's a difficult one. I don't think Liam Rosenior is doing a very good job now. And that's not even me saying I think he will definitely do better next season, but I just think that there is no obvious answer to go in and get someone else. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. And we'll finish up with a tiny bit of transfer news, which is something we have reported on before, which is interesting. Scouts from Chelsea and Tottenham were all in attendance to watch Sporting CP left-back Maxi Araujo against Arsenal, who were impressed by the Uruguay international. So we talked about this guy before. 25, 26 years old, having a really great season at Sporting Lisbon, creative player, and also very similar profile to Valentin Barco, right? In terms of he is a left back, but he also spends a lot of time in midfield as well. So I think this is an interesting one and definitely one to watch. I think if you're looking at Chelsea and Tottenham at the moment, I think there's only one choice, isn't there, to be honest? I think obviously if it is only those two clubs that are in for him, then it's going to be Chelsea. And I do think it's interesting that a player like that, just after we've kind of confirmed the signing of Valentin Barco, although not confirmed yet, like it's, same as Omega and stuff, isn't it? It's just going to happen. I think it's interesting that we're already looking at a Valentin Barco and we're looking at a Maxi Araujo who have similar qualities. And I think that shows you we're going to be looking for a slightly different kind of profile of player in the next season. Do you know what I mean? So I do expect to see change. One thing we keep seeing as well, especially from Liam Rosenior, he keeps on talking about how he's having very detailed and very in-depth conversations about the summer transfer window, right? And I'm pretty sure as long as we'd finish in the top 8, top 10, then Liam Rosenior stays. They're doing all of this work with him, and what the ownership won't want to do is turf him out, get someone else in, and have to do all of this work again and change the start. Do you know what I mean? It's like they are building towards what they want for next season already. So look, as a hapless, hopeless Chelsea fan, I was just tired of sacking managers, man. I'm just tired of sacking managers and watching them walk away. If Liam Rosenior is willing to stick through this difficult moment, then I appreciate that in terms of character. I still think he's got a lot to learn. I still think he needs to improve, but I think Arteta did as well. And Arteta is inarguably one of the better managers in the league at the moment. So at the end of the day, that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, I think this one's interesting. Maxi Araujo to me already says this is a Liam Rosenior interest. Do you know what I mean? Because you look at Valentin Barco and you look at the kind of position he plays and you look at Maxi Araujo, who's had a really good Champions League season, then it just kind of makes sense to me. So guys, again, let me know what you think about that in the comments. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up there. Bit of a sad one today, isn't it? Because it's never easy to to talk about Chelsea after these kind of losses. And there's been a lot of them recently. But I guess the two things that we can revel in as Chelsea fans are not Chelsea related. Arsenal are bottling it at the moment. The Man City result, although it's difficult for us to swallow, and I would always want us to go in to win a game, the truth of the fact is Man City now have the league in their hands. If Man City win all their games and Arsenal win all of their games except the Man City game, if Man City beat Arsenal next week and Man City win all of their games and they win the league, and we get to celebrate Arsenal bottling it again just for some scenes, just for some cinema. It's not what I really care about as a football fan. I care more about Chelsea doing well than Arsenal doing badly. But in the absence of Chelsea doing well, I'll happily watch Arsenal doing badly, and Tottenham are in the relegation zone. So guys, I'm on the road to 2K subs. If you want to see Arsenal bottle it again, and if you want to see Spurs get relegated, click the subscribe button and I will certainly be here to talk about it. Nice one, guys. I hope you all have an absolutely wicked day, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.